let's go to the barber shop.
Don't get me wrong.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that, like what they thought of that.
I was deeply offended.
Really?
I was deeply, and it felt like a moment where it's like, you N-words better get in line and do what we say. And it felt like him as the czar of the Democratic Party coming down to say, go get these N-words in line. And the general tone of it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. I don't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it. And Kamala, 2 days after that, is like, we love our black men. We have programs and things that we're rolling out for them, and she rolled out policy.
Good cop, bad cop. You know, because
I'm tired of the good cop, bad cop. I'm tired of.
So in other words, what he's trying to tell you is this. My grandfather told me very long time ago never to trust a man who promises to do tomorrow what they had the power to do yesterday.
Just yelled in the street, Trump 2024. What makes you love Donald Trump?
If you're truly a patriotic American, how could you not love Donald Trump?
Really, nigga?
If you actually are somebody that does your research and your due diligence as opposed to being pushed by somebody else's propagandist talking points, how could you hate Donald Trump? He's the most popular businessman in American history. If you wanted a movie to be popular throughout all of before 2016, who has the most cameos? I find it funny that as soon as he became a Republican, he became racist. But name me that racist that won an NAACP award. I'll wait.
You guys are at the wrong rally.
Didn't we have peace around the world when Trump was in office? Why are we in war right now? Oh, and for that daggone bill y'all want to keep talking about the border? Well, y'all were okay with the administration giving $60 billion to Ukraine so they can put 1,500 at the border. Here's something else deeper for you to think about. Didn't they leave millions and millions of guns in Afghanistan unguarded and unattended and left the country? Directly after that, Xi Jinping and Putin came down and gave them legitimacy. Well, what happens after that? Oh, didn't Biden give Putin access to a gas pipeline? And then directly after that, he went to war with Ukraine. And then was it a coincidence that one of our basketball stars got locked up in Russia and we traded her for Victor Boot? So we traded the Lord of War for Brittany Griner with a whole bunch of unattended guns in Afghanistan. That's what you voted for. That's better than Trump. You need to wake up, bro.
I'm blind!
Yeah, I'm woke. I'm the old school woke, just a different breed. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a pattern recognition expert, and I like people that are consistent with their promises, or not saying one thing and suddenly they say the other thing.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? Merry Christmas, everyone.
What are your feelings, and let me start with the women here, about Kamala Harris?
She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that, and I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry.
It's sad that she has to defend herself before she can speak facts.
But at the end of the day, I don't think that she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. I don't want to be scared because my president is scared. I want my president to feel secure and manly and about it.
And the fact that she mentioned a gender, the conversation is gonna change a little.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman. But she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America, because she don't have the experience. She don't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy.
Right.
Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing that you said 4 years ago.
So the fact that she's the vice president
That's
to
just
you
the
is
bottom line.
You're like, you've been here, you've had a chance.
Yes.
Well, for me, the very first time I ever heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents.
Lady, you're late. With all due respect, I can understand that. But she was locking men a long time ago. And nobody knew that until Tulsi Gabbard burned her on the stage and she lost the primary. And then Biden decided, I need a black person and a woman. And she was chosen.
You must heed my instructions!
For a truancy. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this person claims to be a black woman, but yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families.
This is the thing that is, Trump talks about this a lot. He says, you know, Kamala Harris became black when it was convenient.
Right. Yeah.
Can Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like
absolutely.
she's wearing her blackness?
Absolutely. When she sworn to the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
Which is, it's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that.
Tell him, sister. Ooh.
My point of view, and like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
That's what most people say. Why do I need to vote for you so you can be in office when you're in office right now and you can do it right now, so I have a reason to vote for you? No, she wants to use that as a leverage.
Are the cops not allowed in? But there was a 911 call. They're not allowed to go in? So you got to get a supervisor to let the cops come in for a 911 call?
I read the rules.
So that's their rules? That's just... I know, but it's a little strange that a cop gets a 911 call and they're not allowed in. They have to wait for a supervisor.
How is this legal, she says? Well, very simple. You just have to vote very left-leaning. I don't know how this is legal. Imagine 911, we're coming on our way, but we need supervisor permission to enter the building. And you might be saying, what kind of building? The NYPD were not allowed to enter a migrant hotel near Times Square to respond to a call due to an apparent police banning officers without a migrant program supervisor present. Are you freaking kidding me? How can you live in a city that is supposed to be safe, but to apply accountability, you need a supervisor program? You're supposed to be there 24/7 if you care about these people. Well, I have a life too. Well, people have a life too that are calling for 911.
I don't understand how we got so toxic and just so divided and so bitter. And I get why sometimes people just don't want to pay attention to it. And we all have friends like that. We have family members who just like, it's all a circus out there. I get that.
Really, Obama? You want to apply that Marxist ideology? Blame everybody else for the thing that I'm doing? Let's see what your friend has to say.
From John Kelly's words, that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
I don't understand how we got so toxic.
And maybe you're projecting.
Do you agree that black men who are not voting for Harris and who didn't vote for you, as the pastor sees it, are misogynist? As he said, misogyny is still real in our community.
I would say, number one, I know it's a shock to everyone, but sexism remains real and a very pertinent issue. But I want us to be really clear that Kamala Harris is doing very well with black men. Black men are the second strongest cohort of Democratic voters. What we're seeing, though, is that she is showing them due respect by actually speaking to their issues. And those issues differ from other cohorts.
If that is true, why are they copying a dating show for usually black men and use that as a commercial for Kamala to shame men to get them to vote?
Hello, ladies. I'm Trey. It's good to be here.
Hey, Trey.
Hey.
So, what do you do and how much do you make?
I work in finance, making six figures.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Okay. Do you work out?
I like to stay active, yeah.
Do you have a plan to vote?
I didn't plan on it.
Yes, shaming men. That's how you get them to vote, as if they don't experience that enough in life.
I'm not quite certain why there is this panic about black men voting. They vote. In fact, they vote more than their counterparts in any other community for Democrats. However, we do have to acknowledge that there is sexism. There is racism. There are challenges in our electorate, and that's why it's so important that Kamala Harris is going everywhere and talking to everyone. She respects voters, she meets them where they are, and she refuses to be told that she has lost a cohort, lost a community, simply because she's different. The best candidates recognize that you win by meeting people where they are, and Kamala Harris is doing that every single day, and will keep doing it for the next 14 days until we get to Election Day.
And you're saying she's doing interview? Really? Or are those pre-recorded?
And then remember, I got invited to do the interview with her. They wanted to pay me $15K for Kamala Harris a couple months ago. So So remember, some people were saying, well, did he make that up? I didn't make it up. They texted me and said we wanted to pay, and they was after me for a while. And I said, listen, it got to be live. They wanted an interview, but I wanted it live. You're not going to pre-record it and splice it because I know how y'all crackers move. So I said, live interview, straight to the people. I don't want your money. I ain't for sale. I think they wanted to test to see if I was a money-hungry Negro. And I said, nah, let's do it. And they never called me back because they wasn't going to let her answer my questions live because she wouldn't have any answers. And I'm going to tell you this. This is what black people are not paying attention to. If Kamala Harris wins, we really going to catch hell. You know why? She going to make us pay for everybody who exposed the fact that she was never black. Do you feel me? She has a grudge and an axe to grind. Black people ain't getting shit if Kamala Harris get elected. You weren't going to get it anyway. Stay with me. Yeah. But it was a neutral neglect. You feel me? That would have been thank you. It would have been a benign neglect. Now it's a spiteful neglect. I'm going to get you ninjas back for exposing the fact that I was never black. Black people ain't going to get nothing. Now some of her AKA sisters, shout out to the AKA queens, some of her AKA sisters going to get a couple, puppet positions. She going to throw a couple black fraternity brothers, a couple puppet positions, little tokenism. But black people ain't getting nothing structural. The Democrats are clear. Their whole future is all about the immigrants to replace black folk.
I don't always agree with Dr. Umar, but I understand his point. But talking about black people, there's no way he's gonna let you change the message because he's speaking facts.
So look, if Jimmy Carter can vote early, you can too.
If you ever used my father to vote for something that I respect a lot in such a condition, you would have lost all my respect. And the fact that a bunch of people are like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. There's something about it that makes me feel you're so out of touch that you only care about yourself.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush, hash, purple, skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, durloqueta, verdeta, welcome.